today we're gonna have the chance to speak with TkG, which is a maintainer of the Frogging family. And I had the opportunity to use his material and his work while trying to accomplish my quest of gaming on Linux. And today I have the chance to, talk with him, and you're gonna have the chance to listen to him. So, hello, TkG.
Hi, Max.
How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me. I'm fine. And you? What about you?
I'm doing great. I'm really happy, and I'm super excited to have the opportunity to speak with you, and have you, also the opportunity to speak a little bit about your project and what you are doing for the community.
Sure. Thank you for reaching out to me. I'm glad you did, and I'm happy to share my knowledge and all our projects with the community.
Nice. So, in case you didn't know TkG, I'm gonna make a really brief presentation of what you are doing, TkG. But for me, he is a pillar, one of the main pillars of some development of like gaming on Linux. And I had the opportunity to use some of his packages for more than 2 years now. And before I kind of like make some videos and like some type of like, discovery tutorial approach about what is all about, I really wanted to have the opportunity to touch base with him, to give you, I would say, like a great screenshot of what his tools are providing. So we have the chance to be with him today, and I think it will be better for him to go through like his main, I would say, like project, and kind of like show to us what he's working on and how those projects can help the community and especially the gamers. Okay. So TkG, can you talk a little bit about your project and how they differentiate themselves compared to what is been doing, like what's doing over there?
Yeah, sure. I founded the Frogging family on GitHub. And created many projects. All of them share the same basic idea, which is to bring more simplicity and power to the users in the grand scheme of Linux gaming. So trying to offer more performance, more compatibility, or simply to some degree, some customization to get the experience you want out of your gaming experience on Linux. So I'm providing a custom kernel. I'm providing pretty powerful tool which allows to create some wine or Proton custom builds. We have an Nvidia installer, Nvidia driver installer, also, and many other tools. A custom Mesa package, which you'll also see for some customization. And the main ones, the easiest ones, most definitely are the kernel and the wine Proton building script, which comes with a very large library of patches, compatibility patches, performance patches, and also some features which aren't found in upstream Proton or upstream Wine. You can also do some very weird stuff, like for example.
Wait. Before you get into that, because we're gonna get there.
We'll get there.
I want. So you made a really good description here. There is a lot of really good projects. Like I have to say, like For me, they are some of the best. When I don't want to compare or anything, but to my usage, and especially when it comes to gaming, I was so happy when I discovered your repo on GitHub. The main one, the one you mentioned, like at least for me, was the Linux kernel one,
Yeah.
which kind of like gives the user, and just cut me if I'm wrong, but a better experience overall in terms of latency when they play video game.
Yeah, that was the main idea initially, yes. When I initially started the project, I think we only offered MUX, MUQSS from
Yep.
Concalivast, and PDS from Alfred Chen as the alternative schedulers to CFS. Because CFS, a few years back, was pretty slow on the latency front. It was really optimized for server usage and to have the best throughput and not exactly the equilibrium you need when you want to game between throughput and latency. So yeah, the idea was to bring those alternative schedulers in an easier fashion for the users to compile their own kernel with either of them, either scheduler, and other mods and customizations to bring the performance even higher. But yeah, the initial dynamic was to lower latency without compromising performance. And yeah, over time it evolved and we added more fluff. There were many requests regarding Android support through third-party tools.
Oh yeah,
Or
there is a lot down there. Like there is a
yeah,
lot,
yeah.
and
Also PCI ID remapping for people who do VFEO GPU pass-through
yep.
VMs. Because that's also some form of Linux gaming, even though you're using generally Windows in there. But yeah, that was at some point an alternative to game on Linux before Proton, before DKG, DKG, etc.
So I'm not going to mash my word on this one. If you are what I call like like a competitive gamer
Yeah,
and you want to go into like the Linux world, you will really notice. I did with my material, my own experience. I can tell for everyone, right? But I can really recommend going through I would say like this repo, and I would say like I will use those words like take advantage of TkG work, because his work will give you like wonderful results. The level of customization, as you just mentioned, is just insane. I don't think we should. I would like just to talk with you right now and not go really too deep into it, because I think we
yeah,
could make a 10-hour video and we wouldn't be covering like half of it. To be fair,
quite
uh,
possible.
yeah, yeah, it's possible, but it's really like I would say like a piece of art for me. Um, it's just amazing. Um,
Thank you
so
again.
yeah, so really like what we're gonna do, like we're gonna talk about the other project, but I would say when you and cut me if I'm saying something wrong, TkG, but when you install like any type of Linux distribution and you want to you know have a better experience in terms of latency, I would say like this for me is the first step you need to go through, is like getting a kernel which is like more adapted to this type of environment utilization, and this one does a wonderful job. What I'm gonna do after in the coming video, I'm gonna make a specific video about this this subject, but I just wanted like TkG to give a little approach of what his job is, like his work, sorry, is all about on this project. And yeah, like
I'd like to say something about the kernel.
yep,
The project initially started as based on Xanmod, Xanmod kernel.
yep.
Xanmod at the time was using CFS, and the plan for me, because Xanmod gave me great results, even though it was using CFS, was to bring PDS to Xanmod. And eventually, Xanmod grabbed PDS and made it the default scheduler later on. But yeah, initially it started like that. And over time, we made it very, how to say that, closer to upstream, just to be able to offer more transparent updates, while keeping all the customization. And we still have some patches from Xanmod, but we also have some from Zen or Licorix, which is pretty much the same code base, and our own patches. But yeah, it was initially based on Xanmod, and I would like to thank Xanmod for making such a great kernel for gaming. Because without Xanmod, I probably would have never done Linux TkG.
Interesting. So now you go in that direction. Like, how would you differentiate this way of doing a kernel versus another one, for example? Me, I have my own answer, right? But
someone told me once that my approach with most of the Frogging family projects was kinda like Gentoo, where you have many tools to go pretty deep in customization and yeah, make it your own more than when you offer prepackaged stuff that you don't compile yourself, that you don't use custom compilation flags for. It's something like that. But I tried to close the gap between the ease of access and the complexity of, yeah, why not Gentoo? But we are even going deeper than that in some ways, even. So yeah, it's kinda very powerful. And at the same time, I'm trying to make it pretty accessible for the users. So they don't have, if they don't know, they don't have to go deep in there. They will get a good experience out of the box with the customizations that makes the more sense without fear to break their boot or their partition. So yeah,
yeah.
all
So
of the tools are like that. It's very trying to be very powerful, very complex in what you can achieve, while trying to stay very easy and accessible, just to get the job done.
that's really what I was thinking about, because this approach, I can tell right now. We're gonna go through the other project, make a quick presentation about them, like this one. But I totally agree. Like the vision is like you have the ability to customize at a really deep level, but on the other hand, like from a user experience, it's I wouldn't say it's pretty simple, but the ergonomy, the approach is look way simpler than how hard it goes on the other hand. And this, I think it's a win for me. And you can see it on all the other projects. Um, So we kind of covered the Linux one. Like I don't want to go too deep there because I have the feeling
Yeah,
we
yeah.
could talk really long. But long story short,
You can go deeper if you want or need to in a different video.
yeah. But like
Maybe
this
with me, who knows?
yeah, yeah,
If you feel like it.
yep. So this one was good. The one too I would like to mention, because you already make like a pretty good presentation there, is the Nvidia-all
Yeah.
project. So just tell us like why did you start it, and how it differentiates itself from other applications that kind of like resolve or don't resolve the same issue.
Um, alors, first, I like to say that most, if not all, of my tools were made initially for devs, Valve devs, to be fair. The idea was that the available packages and systems in place were not as bleeding edge as we would have liked,
Okay.
and the access to bleeding edge stuff was annoying or complex. It was not closed; it was still possible, but annoying. And my plan with those tools was to facilitate their work. And for Nvidia-all, the idea was that working with Nvidia um, on the DXVK VQ3D Proton side of things, um, devs needed to get the updates, the driver updates, especially on the NVIDIA Vulkan driver, Vulkan dev driver uh, packages, which are not offered on Arch Linux or any
That's right.
distros that I know, actually. But yeah, initially it was just that, to offer easy access to a way to package Vulkan dev drivers from NVIDIA. And I got help from some NVIDIA employees, which gave me in real time updates when they pushed new drivers. And those drivers were fixing bugs or adding functionality that could be used then for DXVK or VK-Ready Proton later on. And the tool was not as powerful as it is now, but some people using it at the time found it pretty convenient. And they requested maybe you could add support for more drivers, maybe beta
Mm,
drivers with outside of the Vulkan dev ones, maybe mainline stable ones, maybe offering older series in case of regression. And yeah, it evolved quickly. I remember it was 396.54, I guess, which was the first driver to support. Um, um, I don't remember the name exactly, but it was needed for DXVK to tessellate some dynamic objects. Yeah, I
okay.
maybe I'm going to
No, no.
technical there, but
But I think we
uh,
understand the idea, right? Like,
and notably it was needed for The Witcher 3. And The Witcher 3, being the game it is, pretty popular. People wanted to play it in the best conditions possible, and that driver, that
yeah.
Vulkan dev driver at the time, wasn't available anywhere in a prepackaged form. So it was pretty important to offer that uh, to everyone I could offer it, and at the time it was pretty logical to do it for Pacman distros. And most of my tools are really made for Pacman distros and Pacman package manager.
So before we go towards the Pacman manager and all this part, like you from a user perspective, now you explain why you created this tool.
Mm-hmm.
From a user perspective, really like it kind of like give you access to every Nvidia driver available, like almost all of them, I would say. And it will solve like any type of issue related to installing them, and it will make the installation seamless. And
Yeah.
from me, I discovered them because you mentioned Witcher 3, but I remember at the time, I think it was 2 years ago, when Nvidia included the pipeline, the graphic pipeline. I don't know the correct word
Library.
anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. GPL.
The GPL, which kind of like compile like your shader but through the graphic card. And tell me if I'm saying something wrong here. But the only way to put your hand in advance and without like going through the website of Nvidia, going through the whole like hassle of the install, etc., would have been through this script. And this script like just make my life so easier because I went to like having a kind of like a me experience on Apex Legend, having to download like a lot of file and like building the shader for hours by just like changing the driver, get into the game, compiling like for like 10 seconds and be good to go. And yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah, that's pretty neat. So I noticed you have a lot of commits on your GitHub. You have a lot of like new drivers. So I don't want to get too deep again in in the repo itself. I think I'm going to do it after in another video because I really want to present this tool like in a deeper way. But now we understand why you build it and what type of issue it's solving, and it's doing a great job. So again, like
There's something I need to mention still
yeah,
for Nvidia-all. We're only covering down to 396 series.
okay,
So GPUs of older series which requires 390, for example,
yeah,
won't be able to use that tool. So you will want basically Vulkan capable GPUs. So yeah, with 4770, you get support up to Fermi, I guess. So a GTX 400 series, I
okay,
guess.
got it.
Yeah. And everything new. Well, maybe it's up to Kepler. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it's not for too legacy hardware. You won't get
Got it.
support for very old hardware with that tool. Um, so yeah, that's worth mentioning. But if your GPU is Vulkan capable, you're all fine, and that's why the tool was made for
Yeah,
Vulkan capable GPUs first.
that's a good point. Yeah, like this is a breeze. That's definitely a breeze.
Also, it doesn't install over. It does install over existing NVIDIA packages, but it's not using the same packaging names than the Arch Linux or Manjaro package names. So when you install your NVIDIA drivers through Nvidia-all, you won't get updates. The OS will see it as you don't have the NVIDIA packages installed. So you won't get updates through Pacman, but that's expected. That's what we want through that tool to allow to keep one driver, any driver, without interference. Because there can be regressions, uh, and you might want to keep a specific version, and we're trying to keep them up to date with kernel releases, with custom patches to make them compatible. So right now, if you wanted to install, I don't know, 470 series on 6.6 RC kernel, you can with Nvidia-all. You cannot outside of it, at least not without patches, but yeah, it's doing it for you, so you can install drivers that are not explicitly compatible with your kernel, and we're trying to push patches for compatibility as much as possible. Sometimes it takes a bit of time after a new kernel release or a new RC comes out. But yeah, that's part of what we offer through Nvidia-all, kernel compatibility, extended kernel compatibility.
That's a really good point, and we come back to your approach overall. Like we were mentioning it during, you know, like the small presentation of your Linux kernel like repo, and we can find it here too. It's like it's a really easy, you know, approach for a user like me who doesn't have the developing and I would say like any of the technical capability, but can still use the latest patches. And this tool solve all the issue, like I would say, like under the hood, and that's why I really like them. Sorry.
Yeah, they are trying to.
Yeah, they're trying to. You know, like, listen, you're doing a pretty great job. So I'm gonna stop saying that because it's gonna become weird. Okay, but I have to say it. Like, if it was a me job, I will tell you, you know, sometimes it doesn't work. But like from my experience, obviously, like it's not representative from everyone, but I would say like it's super decent. It's super good.
Thanks.
Yeah. So that's
it will break. It will break at times, as any code based on some upstream code will get some breaks, some stuff that just works, and the day after it doesn't anymore, and we need to fix it. But yeah, I have a pretty great community of contributors, and usually it doesn't take too long before we can fix stuff. So yeah, it's mostly transparent for most users.
Yeah,
we're trying to do it most transparent way possible.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I have to say it's really good. I will make definitively a video about this one because I believe like more users need to know about this tool. Like it's just awesome. So let's
sure.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna do another. We're gonna talk about wine. I think wine is the one you mentioned, right? In the small like introduction at the beginning.
Yes, I did indeed.